Yes.
You know, we are discussing issues of human rights here at a time that we have just lost the chair of,
National Human Rights.
Yes, Kenya National Commission on Human Rights. And I think it just behooves us to reflect and also say sorry to the family. Because the issues of human rights have been here with us for such a long time. And I think it's also courteous because all of us who are seated here are leaders in this country. Regardless of the details we have about the abductions, I think that the ordeal of going through an abduction is not an easy one. Even if you've not experienced it, you do not know what these young people went through. Going through Christmas without their families, sometimes going through different kind of scares. I mean, I would understand as a young person who has once lived in the streets that you can have experience in this life that if a media was cast on your face, you wouldn't even talk. Leave alone even media, your own family. Sometimes the experience you had during a 1 day or even 1 year of abduction, it doesn't matter. It can be scary. It can be something that you don't wish on anybody. And therefore, I want to take this opportunity to say sorry for these young people who went through that ordeal. Something I wouldn't even want my own person to go through. Now, that said, I think that as leaders, we must reflect on how we want to approach this year on the issue of human rights. And I think that reflection takes a tangent on the backdrop of June 25th last year, in the sense that if we are leaders and we become reckless with our statements in the midst of such national issues of importance, we can lose a country. Remember that what happened in June was triggered predominantly by leaders who were reckless in terms of their display of their affluence, in terms of their arrogance on their statements that people were raising. And I want to caution leaders that as simple things as abductions, and that's why I think that all of us speak to the president. That's a fact. Avi speaks to the president. That's how he got his appointment, in the sense that even if he did not, he wasn't rewarded, right? At least he was communicated to by the president. I think that he's got that open channel with the president. He has got a phone call that he can call the president can pick. My friend Nelson here, Okech, speaks to the president. Onyonga will tell you, Senator, that even before the president went to Kisii, he was in State House. And he visited the president. He has told us here. He visited the president, and he talked to the president, and he showed him what the president should do. The same as myself, I can tell you that I speak to the president because he is the president now up until the next election. And if as leaders we don't rise to the occasion of being able to point to him what is wrong, then we have a problem. But one thing that we must do as leaders that are seated here, we must know that any public office that we are holding, under Article 73 of the Constitution, we are serving it because of the honor and the trust of the public. And it behooves us that whenever we have got these kind of problems, we must rise to the occasion to bring the country together. And that's why in my lesson I was telling you, Nelson Harvey, I was telling you very clearly that leaders, whether you are right now in a seat or not, politicization of issues is not the best way to approach national crisis. Because now abduction is becoming a crisis in the country.
It's a pandemic.
It's a big pandemic in the country. And I can assure you that when I met the president, he was remorseful about it, and he expressed himself on the backdrop of our advice that this issue must be dealt with. And he is the person with the sword that can be able to abduct the abductors, if I may use that word. And I said it actually in public, that as a president, you've got a responsibility to abduct the abductors. Because if somebody from Uganda or somebody from Tanzania or Somalia was to come for our lives, and we have given you the sword, what will you do with it? You protect us. And these are people who are coming for our children, for whichever reason, whether it is because of political reasons or any other reasons of seeking for ransom. These people are coming for our children. Therefore, he has got a responsibility to protect those children, but us as political leadership can also not use it on the theater of politics. And I want to ask my brother Nelson Harvey, what is not true about what I've raised, about what Gachagua said, right? The former deputy president. What is not true about Avi being silent in the wake of what was happening during Azimio protests? There was the highest number of abductions that happened in the beginning of 2023. This is a fact. There was a highest number of killings that happened, more than even what happened to Gen Zs. Gen Zs 75 is the number that we are given that were killed. Some we don't know. But in the wage of Azimio protest, I was in it. I escaped bullets. I have seen kids that I know that I grew up with. If you go here in Uruma, there's a young man called Omina that died at the door of his own mother. He didn't go on protest. I have buried people in Migori who were killed. And at that time of human rights violation, Avi was quiet. The deputy president was even ridiculing, he was even laughing about it. So you cannot come here today with a moral authority that is Gachagua today, talking about these abductions in a political way as if we don't know some of these people. What I'm saying, Ayub, is that human rights violation in this country cannot be tolerated in any form and at any time of convenience.
All right.
There's no day of convenience for Avi to say that today I'm fighting for abductions, but there's a day that when those abductions are happening to other people, then it's convenience for him and so to other people.
Okay.
Abductions are abductions. We must fight them and fight them at any given time they happen in this country.
And you being the senator, I mean, two wrongs never make a right. And
True.
An eye for an eye certainly isn't the solution.
Yes.
You have listed or signposted pretty issues that are very important on the sanctity of human lives. Why is this problem then not being addressed, rather it being now a perpetual continuity of where the Uhuru administration left?
Yeah, and this is the arrogance that we see in political leadership that we as a people must address, right? And that's why
Does that include the arrogance in leadership of the ODM party leaders, the ODM party members in cabinet?
I haven't seen the ODM party members in cabinet, taking...
Former members.
Yes, the former... Thank you for saying that. The former members of ODM, I haven't seen where they have been vehement and in denial of these human rights violations, especially these abductions. And where there are those cases, we as a party and we as former colleagues of them in the party have been very vocal at calling them out.
Okay, let me read you this. 2nd December, Ali Hassan Joe, CS Mining, when he was with the president, this was on Kenyans who are online. There are people, he said, at this very moment, we know they are online. I'm giving them a notice today. They shouldn't think that they're the only ones with a mouth. We have mouths as well. If they poke us, we'll respond affirmatively. Do you condemn this statement?
Do I condemn the statement that Joe made about online people? I personally, as a political, and I started by saying this, that as a politician...
Senator, that is a semantic evasion.
Yes.
Yes or no? Do you condemn it?
I do condemn it. I do condemn that statement, but that's not a statement that Joe said.
He said, I'm quoting him...
No, I'm saying he did not support abductions. He just said that people who are abusing them, basically online, is something that they will deal with, right? And I think that sometimes in those instances, he did not say that then it goes with abductions. Maybe the way that Joe would have dealt with it is by taking actions that Nyonka had said, taking some of these people to court. And we have seen a number of people, taking those who have abused them online to court to say that this is a defamation or this person has assaulted me with words on this case. So whatever he meant by taking actions is up to interpretation. But I personally have experienced the same abuses online, and I started by saying that as a politician who has been abused in Migori by many young people who sometimes are hired by political rivals, I don't take those dissents personal, because sometimes they are used to abuse you, and then in the next minute they're asking you for money, in the next minute they're telling you, they're praising you, in the next minute they're telling you who sent them, and they even come and actually visit my home. I don't chase them away. So the level of intolerance is different with different people, but I think that as a country also we must have a candid conversation on what constitutes respect, mutual respect between the public and their leaders.
I get it. Yes, Councillor Harvey.